So anyway, so I'm going to, I shouldn't say violate, but I'm gonna just show that if I were to suddenly just lift underneath here, so you feel it. See, do you feel the startle?
Yeah.
Especially through your upper chest?
Yeah.
So also, and I'm not gonna do it anywhere to help hurt you, but just to show, see? I can tell that beyond that is a force. So for me to bring your neck back like that, it's not happening. Same here, I get to about here. You feel that?
Yeah.
Because,
There's no pain, but I felt the restriction.
right. So that's what I don't understand, that you can actually still continue to take someone and go, but again, I haven't gone to chiropractic school, so I'm not insulting that, but it just goes against my knowledge what's possible. So, actually, let me suddenly change the camera because I just changed my opinion of what I'm going to do since I touched her. Because even though I'm trying to teach you guys something, it's still your lesson on my table.
It's still a personal.
Yeah. So now, just to show the rotation a little bit different, I'm going to concentrate just on the upper thorax here. So I'm going to go back. Again, see how I'm just initiating it? So I'm underneath the neck. So before I was taking two hands to go something like this. But now I want the back part of the upper thorax to participate. So all I'm doing is a light lift and a light rotation of the neck. But even when I lift here, I'm kind of pushing down towards her left foot. So I'm always working, when I work with the counterbalance as well as the rotation. Now notice too, when I release, I just release. I don't sit there every time and put her head proper. Actually, if I were to make her head proper right now, she'd kind of feel off.
I feel very off.
Yeah, versus where you were just a bit more comfortable. So I'm just kind of riding about that much of her spine. I'm not going too far. There we go. Feel the difference?
No. Oh,
so just from that little bit, feel, again, I'm going to do the first, feel the difference now. The right wanting to go up and the left is like, yeah, I don't think so, lady. The brain only learns from good versus bad. I like chocolate, I don't like broccoli, whatever. So, I'm going to just fix this down just a little bit. So, the comparison of right to left is very advantageous to me on your brain, that I can immediately compare oranges to apples. So it's not to say I like that, I don't like that, but your brain's going, wow, I like how, I'm responding to movement here. See already now, the acceleration change with the arm, just going to here,
oh yeah.
it's like knock, knock. See the difference just from... So now what I'm starting to do is actually pull her head and rotate, and I'm pushing down. And this would be really good on me, just a hint. Half the time I think when people get lessons, they're getting the stuff that I'm like, wow, I would really like this to happen, so I'm doing it for you. Thanks. I hope you appreciate it. You're getting my dream lesson. So see how I'm not so much lifting? Because see, now I'm already going into, she can probably feel me even shake from the lift. I like a nice rotation. So I'm just going underneath here, and I'm just popping a quick feel and moving with the palm heel. But I'm going down all the way from her side, just to say, I know you're there. Going back to already now, the rotation of the neck, how it's changed. Now just to show you the difference, now how much this side's changed already, and this side.
Wow, that's significant.
So now I'm going to go on this side, and this side is different. So I'm not going to say, and that's where people get, why is the left side different than the right? Well, you're right-handed, you have a much more greater vocabulary, I don't know. I've seen from some people, you're the firstborn, you had a lot of siblings, and you're always holding someone's hand. It was habitually on the left side, and it just changed the shoulder.
I always had a horse on my right, and now I always have a dog on my right.
So, So I'm changing my hand a little bit because you're different on this side. So I'm kind of doing like a rotation here through the skull and through the, but I'm also changing it up a little bit just to give you two variations. See how I'm flagging the nose as well?
Yeah.
Versus everything being here. Now I'll admit too, I am much with the really fine stuff, I'm much better with my right hand. You would notice it, I notice it. So especially when I do skull work, you'll always see me do a lot of the rotation work through my right versus through my left. See, it's just completely different.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not gonna get what I consider.
Your best work.
Yeah, there we go. So now I'm gonna get, see under this clavicle, this is where.
So is it like this?
You don't want to do it where you're pokey. It's more like I'm dispersing the weight right now through here. Now when I was underneath you originally, I'm under all the fingers here and I'm dispersing and lifting more like this
Okay.
versus where I'd be
Okay.
poking up. So you always want to think when you do a lift or something that you're not putting fingernails in. But in general, I don't have any anyway. But here, I'm just doing a rotation through my hand. But notice I'm continuing the rotation here. Now, something that Arlie could do nicely, see, is a counter rotation. And this is where you don't have as nice baby-like qualities. But her body's over here, and all of a sudden she's looking for the ball here, you know. Now, the fact that I mentioned Arlie, her brain is already, because she's intelligent, goes, oh, that's what you want me to do? And I can talk someone through after moving.
Mm-hmm.
Now, look at how the head is walking. See the difference?
Yeah.
See the lift, here, here. Notice again, your acceleration's changed.
Yeah.
So now I can literally from each vertebrae, not as obvious here talking to the pelvis, this is what I'm doing right now is as I counter the vertebrae, left, right, I'm projecting into the pelvis. But look at the difference from about C4. See how I twist lightly the vertebrae and the twist of the pelvis. And if you don't believe me, let me just do this. I'm going to restrict your pelvis. Do a twist of the neck. Completely different. Oh, I'll do it this way too. So this is something that I did with Wendy. So now see, this is where you would benefit because your spine wants to go down here. Where my vein here is here, yours is just here. But again, it's just an observation. So I'll go here more so for your lower back and just show that counterbalance from the spine. See how I come in from the left and over to the right very subtly, but feel it in the diaphragm?
Yeah.
So now if I were to, here, just a quickie, and again, I'm just showing an example, restricting the pelvis. So that's baby in a car seat, or mom and dad in a lazy boy, you know what I mean? Just how,
Wow. Rigid. Wow.
it just,
Incredible.
movement, I don't have anything that here. Movement goes in waves. Everything you do is in waves. So if you stop that or prevent that from happening, just, you know what's really interesting? Horses, you hoof them off of 1 degree, you throw a horse. So if you look at a human being and what we do to our feet alone through shoes, are you out of your mind? So So why is it that you take a horse that supposedly, and we'll pick on horses, has the brain function of a whatever, you know what I mean? They're not going to Walmart and balancing your budgets, and they're not your financial advisor, but you change the way you shoe them, and it throws you. Or if you put a bad rider on it. You know, I've seen people go, who's the rider with the bad right hip or whatever, because it throws it, because
That's why
again,
my horse got chiropractic, was because of the way I rode.
but the movement goes in waves through you, through the horse, to the ground, to the earth. And if you don't believe me, look at the Tacoma Bridge, you know, and so forth, the movement, or why certain houses. It's again, it's a law of minimum physics. It's not, you know, again, I'm not bringing a blue light around you. Or so just that restriction on the pelvis is no different. So if you're sitting on your wallet, if you're sitting on all of these things, change your movement pattern. Some people know how to work around it because they're always playing with the movement patterns, and some people, that's trauma. So now see how I can just lift your head.
Yeah.
So this is what Arlie was doing. Look forward, look forward, look forward. Ooh. Ooh. Now again, I'm going to curl my toes on the right, left side. Feel the difference?
Yeah.
Because my movement patterns have just
Wow.
altered hers.
Wow. It's very
And-
stiff.
Yeah, because I am. So again, feet are free. And that's what's great about this work. Once you start realizing, hey, I just did this, why am I now doing this? That's where your intelligence comes in and goes, oh, I can change that, or I can do something different. So now I can do the points. There we go. And now the head's independent from the shoulders. So that was just another example of the same kind of conversation. So this is me lifting her neck. And this is something that just did to you, lifting the head. You know, see the quality is just not the same. And this is me lifting through. See how she wants to curl up versus lift back. Because her shoulders are higher off the table than down. But again, what is she going to do? Am I going to sit there and just squeeze her shoulder, you know, and say, you need to stand this way? This is where she's gone with it. Happens a lot too, no offense. Bigger breast tissue and this and whatever, life.
Being uptight all the time.
Well, just the shoulders want to come forward versus being able to.
Open up.
But in her case, it was probably too because her hand was strapped to her, you know, during key stages. So we can always blame her on her mother.
My mom loves that.
I know. So what I'm doing, even though it looks like I'm just pressing down, I'm really pressing down and rotating into. My trick is I'm always rotating. I'm always using a rotation. So I'm doing it more, now I've displaced the energy with the cup of my hand. So I'm not like this. See, when I do this, I change my trajectory with my whole elbow. When I'm like this, it allows my wrist to be more supple. If I was like this, then I have limited rotation with my wrist. So now what I'm going to do is come under here and bring up and rotate this chest cavity forward and rotate it backwards. Now this action eventually will connect the whole abdomen and the pelvis into what I'm looking for is a perpetual motion this way. So as the chest rotates, then the pelvis is going to have to rotate to bring room for the chest cavity. And this is if you've been pregnant, where it really gets impeded because the baby forces the chest cavity up. And so a lot of people after they've given birth haven't recovered for that. So chest cavity is up here, pelvis is here, and somewhere there was the baby and who's not there anymore.
I have a friend who's 7.5 months right now, and you can tell how much her whole. She's a very athletic, tall gal, and it's like, but all of a sudden she's moving in an entirely different way.
Well, not only that, but your proportions with the pregnancy can change so rapidly that the brain has no way of working around it.
She'd really go home with a stranger as long as they held her and paid attention to her.
Now, everyone in this room except for Marie is friends with Bobby.
Oh, that's
Oh, not everyone. My folks don't know her.
Okay. But this is my 6 degrees of separation from one person.
It's all from Bobby, yeah.
All from
Where
Bobby.
are you from?
A church with Bobby.
Church.
Yeah. Actually, Bobby worked on me one day when I had a migraine.
Oh, she
yeah.
was telling us about that the other
I
day.
went
Yeah.
to women's group for a couple years there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and I had a really bad headache and she came over and she goes, turn the video, I'm gonna come work on you. I said, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
And she
She's
did,
awesome.
and it was gone. Like, my
See the
chiropractor
difference?
can't get rid of it like that.
Oh.
She knows migraines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Difference?
And so then I finally went, okay, I've been in
And
therapy
see
since
too,
October.
it's just
and
naturally for
yeah.
me
I
wanting to
didn't feel
go
that good,
to.
so
Yeah.
hooked me up with
So now I can go underneath her vertebrae.
Kelly.
I'm Wendy.
So
Nice
now
to
I'm
meet
working
you.
with the
Yeah.
rotation this way, and then I'll eventually work it this way.
So I got my folks here today.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was here yesterday.
Very cool.
But you feel how this is your child getting up. You can ask me. But I'm teaching class right now, just so you, but I'm sure Kelly told you that's what I'll be doing.
No, he wore his Levi's, but he's got some sweatpants in the car.
Oh gosh, no,
It's
he's,
better if Levi's are okay.
he's fine.
Okay.
The only thing I really argue with is Spanx.
They kind of hold you in.
That's their job.
That's right. That's why we wear them now. Hey, I quit pantyhose and everything. Living here, you just can't wear any of that stuff.
Look at your mom. Look at her neck. Good boy. Good boy.
Yeah, it was totally different when we lived back east.
Kelly,
Yes.
you want to sit down?
Nope, I'm fine, thank you.
I was gonna say, you want a chair?
Good to go.
Yeah. Now, if I wanted to do something funky, I can come in here. See if her system will do it.
Is she working on some good idea?
She's doing a class.
Pull up.
Oh.
This is gonna be her fall. So I'm gonna let you fall. Oh, there you go. See how she's startling?
Is that through the hips? Oh, wow.
There, just.
Yeah. So the lower abdomen?
But see, at first, her left hand was kind of startling.
I didn't
What
see
I'm
that.
doing was lifting, well, that's why it's nice when it gets recorded, but I'm lifting the sternum, because this is where she was when she's pregnant. So, but she didn't want to drop the belly, because then she dropped the baby, so it's psychological. That's where it's a psychological stress that becomes a psychological issue possibly. So you're like this, but you can actually move again, but see, when I finally did that, watch the pelvis now. So now, there, see now you have that rotation. That feel better? So now, see her counter? So now, neck is nice, so here, now it's still not here. I didn't work this side as much, so let me see if I can do it quickly. See how I'm rotating? I'm pulling the left finger up, left, right is down, so I'm like this right now. So that's something there I have to work on. But see the difference, even your whole chest cavity here to bring.
Ow! Ow!
So let this go. So now feel getting up from both sides. See, that's where the neck, see, with Arlie that we talked about? See how you have to do that again. See how you have to lift the head versus,
Yeah.
now go the other way. See the difference?
Yeah, because they made me spend 4 weeks on that